Hey guys, Omni here. Along with the Mandalorian Season 2 news that dropped earlier today, which we covered in the previous video, there was another announcement that we had this afternoon that I wanted to talk to you guys about and gauge your all's thoughts and feelings on because I'm really excited. I've got some mild concerns, but I am mostly happy and excited for this news. There's a show that I think had its life cut short way too soon that originally aired on the DC Universe app, and that of course is Swamp Thing. You know, it had a rocky production. I know they cut the season short due to cost problems where they were filming. It was originally supposed to be 13 episodes. It got cut down to 10. And then they announced its cancellation on the day that the first episode aired, which turned off a lot of people from even checking it out. However, I still tuned in. I still watched it. I've got a full review of season 1 here up on the channel. And hashtag Save Swamp Thing has been sweeping the internet since the cancellation occurred. It was really well received. It was really well put together. And a lot of people were clamoring to have it come back. And there were some teases, some hints to that with the announcements of HBO Max, as well as what's been going on the CW side with the Arrowverse, with them chiming in and showing some bits of the other shows in the DC catalog during their Crisis on Infinite Earths event. You know, Stargirl premiered there initially, getting their first appearance. You had Doom Patrol show up, you had Titans, as well as Swamp Thing. So it definitely teased, and HBO themselves have teased, that there was a potential chance to revive some of these fallen shows. And this show has been picked up, not by HBO Max, but by the CW, which also is going to be the primary station to be airing Stargirl's episodes. Now, unlike Stargirl, which is going to be airing its episodes first on the DC Universe app, and then the next day following that, they will be airing on CW itself. From the report that I read, Swamp Thing will just be revived on the CW exclusively, and it will be airing there. Of course, the CW, once it's launched, the CW's exclusive streaming service is going to be HBO Max. That will be the CW streaming home. So I'm curious to see how this all is going to pan out, because there's some things that I'm excited for and some concerns that I have. With the production that it had, the cost that it had to make the show, and the detailing of the effects that went behind it, with James Wan's visionary influence deeply rooted into that with his horror roots, Swamp Thing. I'm really curious to how it's going to translate. Are they going to keep the same kind of smaller format? Are they going to try to order a full CW 20-some episode season of this show, which I do not think they could do justice with the amount of money and detailing and production value that went into it. They are keeping the same production team. They are still keeping the same cast from the reports that I've read. And so a lot of that's going to follow through. We did establish at the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths, of course, when the multiverse came back, that Swamp Thing is on its own planet, its own reality, separated from the other shows. But what does this mean as far as crossovers go? And I know they've talked about it for Stargirl, that there is the possibility, but right now the main focus is making sure the show is good. And from what I'm seeing from the trailers, it looks fantastic. We also know that J.J. Abrams has a Justice League Dark show in the works with HBO Max. Can this further open the door to introduce Swamp Thing into that show? And since Constantine has already been such a main driving force on the CW's cast on Legends of Tomorrow, having a start on Arrow and branching out from there, and even having Matt Ryan voice the character, even in the animated sphere, even in the DC animated universe, you know, closing it out with the Apocalypse War, which I just reviewed as well on the channel. You know, carrying that across. Will we be able to see Matt Ryan, his Constantine, which I think is the best version of this character that we've had in live action, when you can compare it to the only two that I know of that exist, the Keanu Reeves one and Matt Ryan's. I would love to see them join up. I would like to see him eventually, you know, graduate from, you know, being a team character on the Arrowverse's Legends of Tomorrow, because right now, the way everything's going, he's really my favorite character on that show. I think the way he plays Matt Ryan, he is Matt Ryan. The way he plays Constantine, I think, is perfection. And I would like to see him carry over. And if they could bring Matt Ryan and Swamp Thing into the Justice League Dark show and have that be like this crossover kind of hub for some of these more supernatural characters like this, you could kind of have like a Defenders situation like on Netflix, where they each had their own individual shows. They all came from different places, but then they had this full season where it was just all of them together. Maybe you could see something higher budgeted like that there. Now, I know there's also been some talks that they wanted to get completely new casts for the Justice League Dark show and just kind of start their own thing. But DC and Warner and, HBO has really been pushing this collective nature of DC, making HBO Max and the Warner Brother umbrella really try to keep everything under the same net, the same tree, the same roots and everything. Especially with the free reign they really kind of gave to the crossover event, so far as having Ezra Miller himself show up in Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now, it's not going to be something that happens frequently, I doubt it, but the main concern I have, though, for Swamp Thing itself, just the show itself, season 2 of it, is the budget. I don't want them to do what they do with the other CW shows and just cram it full of episodes. I don't want to see a whole bunch of filler in my Swamp Thing. I think that was one of the best things to do in this. And honestly, that's one of the things that I think, as far as a critique of the CW shows, as much as I love them, I love the crappy CGI. I love the cheesiness of them. I love the soapy stuff in them as well. But sometimes things get drawn out. Sometimes things go on for a lot longer than they need to because CW orders these really long seasons. And I think all of these shows, and what made the Netflix Marvel shows so good, was that they were very focused, and some of those still even had some fillery kind of episodes with their minimal orders of their like 12, 13 episode orders. Still had some moments where it did kind of drag a bit, but they were much more focused, much more well paced, and I would love to see that maintained with Swamp Thing, because the show, I thought, used its 10 episodes very well. It told its story, it got to the point, and it got to the end where I wanted more. And I want to see that happen. I want to see that continue. And I don't want to see that go into the pitfalls that happen with some of the other CW shows when they have to make something continue for so long. Having the same production company behind it gives me some hopes that it'll remain mostly the same. But I'm really curious to see what this means for the show, the future of it, as well as the various DC properties, because we also know, like I said, HBO Max is going to have this Green Lantern show, which was kind of teased a little bit in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which was actually a continuation of the 20 whatever Ryan Reynolds film. I don't know if that's actually going to be connected to the show that's on the HBO Max, but who knows? I mean, it really opens the door with all these DC shows that are coming about, with Stargirl, Swamp Thing, Titan Season 3, Doom Patrol Season 2, going to be on HBO Max and DC Universe, with the Green Lantern show on on HBO Max as well as Strange Adventures for Adam Strange. I don't know, man. There's a lot of crazy stuff going about, and I'm really excited to see where this all can go. I just have my concerns that not even that the budget's the problem too. The network, it airing on the network, that was a very gritty, dark, mature show. It was gory. Are they going to maintain that? Now, I know Legends of Tomorrow gets away with a lot of stuff that some of the other shows don't. So they might still be able to lean into that. But there was a lot of body horror. There was a lot of visually terrifyingly beautiful things that they were able to do on the show with the mature rating that it had, the R rating that it had. And that I would be worried that they wouldn't be able to push those limits anymore if it's going to be on the CW. Those are my major concerns with it. Overall, I'm excited just that we're going to get to see the story continue. I don't know how it's going to pan out. I don't know the details. Those have not been released yet, but I wanted to give you guys my initial thoughts, my initial reactions to this news, and see what you all thought. So I want you all to sound off in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about this announcement. What do you think the positives that could come out of this are? Do you agree with the negatives? If not, what are yours? Let me know. Sound off in the comments so we can carry on the conversation after the video. But that's it, guys. That's all I've got for today. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.